Well, last year's M3 conference, if you were here, you might remember just an incredible opportunity. If you weren't, we want to give you an opportunity to take a little video tour through the Ebola treatment center that was here on site at M3. Take a look.
You know, I'm really excited this year at M3 to have the Samaritan's Purse Ebola treatment facility right here on the grounds for people to tour, and I'm really excited to have Kelly Suter. Kelly is more than just a nurse. You're somebody that has been on the ground in these Ebola outbreaks. Tell us about it.
Well, I worked West Africa during the first really big outbreak with another organization, and then I worked DRC, Congo, with Samaritan's Purse during the most recent outbreak.
So is this facility is very similar to the one that's being used right now, right?
Very similar. We took some of the larger elements, the key tents, the key components, and laid them out in a display so that, individuals that walk through it will get a pretty good sense of what a patient goes through, what staff go through while they're working and while they're being treated there.
And so we'll have different people that will help us in each tent, right?
Correct. All the staff that'll be guiding us through the tour have worked in Congo and have spent time treating patients and living and working over there.
Well, thanks for bringing this, you and your whole team for bringing it. And we're about ready to start a tour.
It's our pleasure.
All right, let's go.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here to be able to take you on a brief tour of what the basic parts of an Ebola treatment center are. So we're going to start here with the most important place really is the donning station. So the donning station is where we put on our personal protective equipment, or PPE as we call it, and this is what allows a healthcare worker to safely go into the Ebola treatment center without being exposed to the Ebola virus. So there's lots of important parts to that suit. We have our rubber boots, the yellow suit, an apron that covers over everything. You're gonna have 3 pairs of gloves, a mask, goggles, just making sure that there's no gaps or any potential places to be exposed to any fluid that might contain the Ebola virus. So once that suit is properly on, you get to cross into what we call the hot zone and proceed into the Ebola center. Once you enter an Ebola center, everything continues unidirectionally from what's considered the more low-risk areas to the highest risk areas. So the next thing is the suspect ward. So this is where our patients first come when we're not sure yet if they have Ebola or not. So in this unit, we're taking care of patients while they're being tested because they have symptoms such as a high fever, vomiting, diarrhea, or have been exposed to someone with Ebola and are now sick. So here it's really important that we keep patients divided from each other so that someone who may not have Ebola doesn't get exposed to someone who does have Ebola. Patients are going to be provided basic care here, fluids, nutrition, antibiotics, medicine for fever, things like that, just to keep them as safe and comfortable as possible while they're being tested for Ebola. Once a patient tests positive, they would be moved on to the confirmed unit, and if they test negative, then they would be very carefully decontaminated, and that includes their clothes being burned, being washed in a chlorine bath to make sure that they don't take anything back into the community from the Ebola center. Once a patient tests positive for Ebola, then we're going to move them to what we call the confirmed ward. As they move, they get carefully sprayed behind with chlorine to again make sure that we're never contaminating any area that it's at all possible to avoid. And then once patients are in here, they no longer have to be separated from each other because everyone in this unit has Ebola, and that's been confirmed with testing. So here we just continue that really important supportive care. All patients are treated with antibiotics, with antimalarials, with fluids. And in the Congo this time, we were also able to give some of the investigational therapeutic drugs for Ebola, which are really showing promising success. So this was really a great stride forward for Ebola care. All right, so the final step to coming through the Ebola Center is what we call the doffing station. So the doffing station is where you're going to carefully take off your gear and get decontaminated. This is a really critical and dangerous step of the process. You're pretty exhausted and tired once you get here, so it's really important that we have the posters on the wall showing that process step by step, as well as a doffing staff member who carefully guides you through each step of that process. In between taking off each piece of the gear, you're going to get sprayed in chlorine to help decontaminate you, and then everything either goes into a trash bin where it'll get burned or into a bucket of chlorine where it gets decontaminated. Once every piece of the gear is off, the final step is that you have your boots sprayed and washed in chlorine, and as each boot is sprayed, You get to step across that line into the low risk zone, and you're out of the hot zone of the Ebola Center. So thank you so much for joining us on the tour, and this is basically what it's like to take care of a patient in the Ebola Center.
What an incredible opportunity from last year's M3 conference here at Lakewood Church. We welcome you from wherever you are in the world. If you can see behind me all of these dots represent actual attendees to this year's conference. It is so different. We wish everybody could be here and be in person, but having the opportunity to broadcast this all over the world. In fact, we have people joining us from China, from Australia, from Canada, from India, from Kenya, Nigeria, all like-minded individuals who have a heart for God and a heart for ministry and a heart for missions. And we welcome you wherever you're joining us from. Be sure and say hello. Don't forget that chat feature. That's an opportunity for you to connect with others who are viewing wherever they are too. So it's one big family, and we want to make sure that you do that. And also make sure you check out the virtual, we mentioned it a second ago with Jennifer, the virtual exhibit hall. That's available on our website as well. So make sure you take advantage of that. And something I haven't had a chance to mention yet, I want to urge you to take advantage of our prayer room. And it's an opportunity for you to submit a prayer request, add one, and be a part of that. That's a virtual prayer room, of course, as well, but that's also interactive, and we're excited to offer that to you.